Let's be honest, everyone wants to be rich, but most people are making mistakes that virtually guarantee they stay broke. If you're serious about building wealth, you need to avoid these 6 things at all costs, because the rich already know what I'm about to tell you, and they use it to their advantage every single day. If you're doing any of these, it's probably the reason you're not where you want to be financially. And by the way, I've made thousands of dollars a day, and I can tell you from experience that making more money doesn't guarantee you'll keep it. You need the right mindset and financial habits to avoid losing everything in the blink of an eye. First, I don't care how old you are, how much money you've made, how successful you are, stop listening to your parents about money. I know this sounds harsh, but hear me out. Most parents teach their kids to get a safe job instead of actual wealth building strategies. They come from a different time with different opportunities. They push security over growth because they have a scarcity mindset. And again, I don't blame them. Back then, we didn't have as many opportunities as we do today. So they're terrified of risk because they don't understand how to manage it. Think about it. Your parents grew up in an era where a single income could buy a house, support a family, and fund retirement. That world doesn't exist anymore. They were taught to work hard at one company for 40 years and then collect a pension. But pensions are basically extinct now. Companies have zero loyalty. The game has completely changed, but they're still giving you advice based on the old rules, and that's why you can't listen to them. Here's the brutal truth. If your parents aren't rich themselves, why are you taking their financial advice? That's like taking swimming lessons from someone who's drowning. I'm not saying don't love your parents or don't respect them, but when it comes to building wealth in today's world, you need to learn from people who've actually done it, not from people who've been stuck in the same financial situation for decades. Your parents want you to be safe, but safety doesn't build wealth. Calculated risks do, smart investments do, starting businesses does. And if your parents don't understand these things, they can't possibly guide you towards them. In fact, they'll probably try to talk you out of the very opportunities that could make you wealthy. Now, unfortunately, we're not allowed to share everything on YouTube, which is why I've recorded a free video to show you how I made over $1,000 a day in profit from my laptop. And right now, we're also offering a few free consultation calls with me or my team to help you come up with a game plan to reach financial freedom in 90 days or less using the PTP method. Now, I highly suggest you click the link in the description below when you're done watching this video. But be quick, because spots fill up extremely fast and soon we'll be forced to take the video down. Now, a huge mistake I see plenty of people making is blindly following tractional education. College has become nothing but a debt trap for millions of people. The average graduate is walking away with tens of thousands in debt and a degree that employers don't even care about anymore. Let me break this down for you. College tuition has increased over 1,000% since the 1980s. Meanwhile, the value of most degrees has plummeted because everyone has one now. Supply and demand, basic economics. When something becomes common, it becomes less valuable. Look around at some of the richest people in the world. Steve Jobs, he dropped out. Mark Zuckerberg dropped out. Bill Gates dropped out. I'm not saying education isn't valuable. It absolutely is. But the tractional system is designed to create employees, not entrepreneurs. The problem is you're paying for the wrong education. Universities teach theory. They don't teach application. They don't teach money management. They don't teach investing. They don't teach sales or marketing or negotiation, all skills that actually create wealth. Instead, they load you up with debt that keeps you stuck in the rat race for decades. You want to know what actually pays? Learning real-world skills that the market values. Sales, marketing, investing, building businesses, problem solving. None of these things require a 4-year degree that puts you in debt until you're 40. The richest people I know invested in themselves by learning skills that directly generate income, not by sitting in lecture halls learning theory that they never use. And here's the crazy part. Most of these real-world skills can be learned for free or for a tiny fraction of what college costs. There's books, online courses, mentorships from actually successful people, apprenticeships. The information is out there if you're willing to look for it. But society has brainwashed you into thinking you need that expensive piece of paper to succeed. If you think about it, it's literally the biggest scam in the entire history of humanity. Now, the third mistake you need to avoid making is marrying the wrong person. Nobody wants to talk about this, but marrying the wrong person is probably the biggest financial mistake you can make. Divorce is an absolute financial disaster. There's legal fees, alimony, child support, splitting assets. It can literally wipe out everything you've built overnight. I've seen people lose half their net worth in a divorce. I've seen successful businesses destroyed because they had to be split in a settlement. I've seen people working well into their 70s because they couldn't afford to retire after multiple divorces drained their savings. But it's not just divorce. Being with someone who doesn't align with your financial goals will drag you down every single day. They'll question every investment you make, complain about the hours you put in, and pressure you to spend instead of save. You need a partner who understands wealth building, who supports your vision, who's willing to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. Let me give you an example. One partner wants to live below their means and invest 30% of their income for the future. The other partner wants to spend every penny on designer clothes, luxury vacations, and expensive restaurants to enjoy life now. How does that work? It doesn't. One is building a foundation for lasting wealth. The other is creating a lifestyle that keeps them dependent on a paycheck forever. If you want to spend money on nice shit, get rich and then do it. Don't do it the other way around. Because if you do, you will literally be in debt forever. And then you will never be financially free. Don't marry someone just because they're attractive or fun to be around, because that fades with time. However, financial compatibility lasts. The rich know this. They choose partners who elevate them, not ones who drain them. They have difficult conversations about money before committing. They make sure they're on the same page about spending, saving, investing, and risk tolerance. This might not be romantic, but it's real. Your choice of life partner will either multiply your wealth building potential or destroy it, so choose wisely. Now, a huge mistake I see so many people making is trusting the government to save them. If you seriously think Social Security is going to cover your retirement, you're in for a brutal awakening. The system is breaking down, pensions are disappearing, and even if these programs survive, they're designed to keep you alive, not to let you thrive. Let's do some simple math. The average Social Security check is about $1,500 per month. Can you live on that? Pay your rent or mortgage, utilities, food, healthcare, and everything else? Of course not. Yet, millions of people are doing absolutely nothing to prepare for retirement beyond counting on this pitiful amount. Meanwhile, inflation is eating away at whatever you do manage to save. Taxes keep rising to cover government spending, and the rich, they're using every loophole, tax strategy, and investment vehicle available to protect and grow their wealth. Do you think the ultra-wealthy are counting on government benefits? No way. They're setting up tax-advantaged accounts. They're investing in assets that outpace inflation. They're creating streams of passive income that will support them regardless of what happens to government programs. The average person complains about the rich not paying taxes while doing absolutely nothing to learn the same strategies. The tax code is a game, and you're choosing not to learn the rules. The rich didn't write the tax laws, but they're smart enough to use them to their advantage. Why aren't you? I'll tell you why. Because it's easier to complain than to educate yourself. It's easier to wait for someone else to save you than it is to save yourself. But the government isn't meant to save you or to make you rich. At best, it's designed to keep you from being destitute. Is that really the standard you're aiming for? Fifth mistake, being loyal to a job that doesn't care about you. Job security is the biggest illusion of our time. Companies lay off thousands of workers without blinking. They will replace you tomorrow if they can find someone cheaper. They will outsource your role or automate it the moment it becomes profitable to do so. Your dedication means nothing when shareholders demand cost cuts. I've seen people give 20 years to a company only to be let go with 2 weeks severance. I've seen loyal employees passed over for promotions in favor of outliers with less experience but better connections. I've seen hardworking professionals hit salary ceilings while watching executives get million-dollar bonuses. And these promotions you're working so hard for, they're mostly political, not based on how hard you work. You can put in 60 hours a week for years and still get passed over for the boss favorite. You can exceed every target and still get the standard 3% annual raise while inflation runs at 6%, meaning you're effectively taking a pay cut every year. Meanwhile, the truly rich owns businesses and assets. They build systems that generate money, whether they're working or not. They don't trade time for money. They multiply it through leverage. The middle class stays stuck in jobs because they're afraid to take risks, while the wealthy take calculated risks that pay off exponentially. Think about it this way. An employee might get a raise of 5 to 10% if they absolutely crush it for an entire year. An entrepreneur can double, triple, or multiply their income by 10 times with one good decision, one good product, or one good marketing campaign. The ceiling doesn't exist. I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow without a plan. What I am saying is that your job should be a means to an end, not the end itself. Use it to build skills, make connections, and save capital. Then, leverage those things to create real wealth through business ownership, investments, and assets that appreciate over time. Now, unfortunately, we're not allowed to share everything on YouTube, which is why I've recorded a free video to show you how I made over $1,000 a day in profit from my laptop. And right now, we're also offering a few free consultation calls with me or my team to help you come up with a game plan to reach financial freedom in 90 days or less using the PTP method. Now, I highly suggest you click the link in the description below when you're done watching this video. But be quick, because spots fill up extremely fast and soon we'll be forced to take the video down. Now here's the 6th mistake you need to avoid at any cost if you want to be rich. Avoiding what society calls greed and selfishness. We're taught from childhood that wanting money is somehow bad or shallow, that putting yourself first is selfish, that being ambitious means you're stepping on others. It's all garbage designed to keep you in your place. Money gives you freedom and options. It lets you help the people you care about. It gives you the resources to make a real difference. The richest people I know prioritize their time, energy, and success because they understand a fundamental truth. If you don't take care of yourself first, you can't help anyone else. Let me ask you something. Who can help more people? Someone with $1 million or someone with $100? Who can create more jobs? Who can donate more to causes they care about? Who can invest in solutions to big problems? The answer is obvious, yet we're told that pursuing wealth is somehow morally questionable. The reality is that broke people can't help anyone. They're too busy trying to survive. They're stuck in a cycle of paycheck to paycheck, never building enough surplus to make a real impact. They're told to be content with this struggle, that somehow it's noble or virtuous. There is no nobility in poverty, remember that. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have. The most generous people in the world are often the wealthiest, but they had to build that wealth first before they could share it. Do you think Bill Gates could have donated billions to global health initiatives if he hadn't built Microsoft first? Do you think any major charity could function without wealthy donors? Do you think any social problem can be solved without significant resources behind it? Look, I'm not saying you have to become a heartless monster who only cares about money. What I am saying is that your financial success matters, and it's not wrong to make it a priority. It's not greedy to want abundance and freedom. It's not selfish to build wealth that can benefit you, your family, and causes you care about. The people telling you money isn't important usually have enough of it not to worry, or they're using this narrative to keep you from pursuing more. Either way, don't listen to them. The truth is that getting rich isn't complicated. It's about avoiding these pitfalls that most people fall into without even realizing it. It's about making decisions based on where you want to go, not based on what everyone else is doing. The system is designed to keep you comfortable enough not to rebel, but never wealthy enough to truly be free. Breaking out requires going against conventional wisdom, against what your parents taught you, against what society expects. It requires thinking differently, taking calculated risks, and prioritizing your long-term financial health over short-term comfort or approval. But here's what I know for sure. 10 years from now, you'll either be celebrating the tough decisions you made today or regretting that you stayed on the same path as everyone else. You'll either be financially free, building wealth on your own terms, or still trading your time for money, still stressed about bills, still wondering why you can't get ahead. The choice is yours. But now, at least you know what's really keeping you from building the wealth you deserve. These 6 mistakes have held millions of people back from financial freedom. Don't let them hold you back too.